Hi and welcome back to Game Room Ground Zero. Today we're doing a review of the GMKtec Ryzen 9 890M mini PC. On screen are the spec of this mini PC, which is called the EVO-X1. This one has a 1TB drive and 32 gigs of memory. They made the design of the box a little bit bigger than the other ones. The model before this was the GMKtec K8 Plus, which was the Ryzen 7 chip, which has the HX370M in it. Let's take it out. See, the box is a bit thicker with some USB and Oculink in front. And you've got your grids for the fans on the side, so it cools it nicely. At the back you have the LAN adapter ports and the power plug and the HDMI and display ports, and two more USB ports. Here we are on GMKtec's site. They currently have a New Year sale going on this specific machine, the HX370. It also has a fan at the bottom as well. First ever Strix Point AI mini PC with Oculink port. There's the Oculink port. It's supposed to not go over 65 watts. Lot of storage. Unmatched power, 12 cores, 24 threads, maximum 5.1 gigahertz. And there's a 36 megabyte level 3 cache, 50 tops. Radeon 890, support for external GPUs with extra fast Oculink port. The Oculink port supports extra graphics cards with data transfer speeds up to 64, enabling powerful expansion options for high-end gaming and fashion graphics. So if you don't like the GPU that's inside the computer, you can plug in the bigger one with the Oculink. Ultimate AAA gaming experience equipped with AMD Radeon 890 graphics, 16 CUs, 2900 MHz, RDNA 3.5 for stunning visuals and optimized performance. There's a DDR5 memory. Okay, after a very long Windows 11 install, for some reason they changed it now that you must have a Windows account to complete the setup for some reason. Anyway, as you can see, the CPU has 12 cores, 24 logical processors, and it's the AMD Ryzen Artificial Intelligence 9 HX370. Let's do a benchmark. Bench CPU. Let's see to what it compares. Okay, let's see. It's Threadripper. It's faster than the AMD Ryzen Threadripper, which has 16 cores and 32 threads. Okay. If you look on the CPU-Z site for the benchmarks, the single thread, our CPU scored for single thread 779. So 9, it's about here. So it's between a Core i7 and a Core i5 Intel. It's even above the AMD Ryzen 9. And the multi-threaded test came in at 8,824. This can't be right. 24 threads. So on 24 threads, it came out here between the AMD Ryzen 9 and the Intel Core i7. Then I also did a Geekbench 6 test between the K8 Plus and the EVO-X1, this new one. And you can see the single core on the K8, which is a Ryzen 7, scored 2100, and the Ryzen 9 2879. So it's more than 700 more on the single. The multi-core, the Ryzen 9 scored 12,924 and the Ryzen 7 11,900, which is also about almost 1,000 more. On the GPU side, the Radeon 890M scored 43,900, where the Radeon 780M scored 30,296, which is almost a 13,000 difference, which makes the 890M far superior, better machine than the 780M case 8 machine for gaming. But the K8 also, the games also runs nice on there. There's only here and there a game that is not that nice to play on that. Okay, let's do the 3D Mark test. I see they've got the Steel Nomad Lite benchmark for lightweight PCs, probably because it picked up the machine I'm using. Let's run this. I'm going to speed up a few of the benchmarks because some of them takes a while, so it doesn't take that long. There you have it, a score of 3,404, 25 frames per second. And ran it at 1080p. Let's do the times by. Let's do the times by 1. Okay, so on the time spy it scored 3982. Graphics score was a 3593. The CPU score was a 10340. Testing that the CPU scored higher than the GPU. Here are test results of time spy of the GMKtec K8 Plus, which is the Ryzen 780 chip. You can see it's a bit lower, but it's close to the 890. And for the Geek 3D firmware test, let's do a benchmark in 1080p. Okay, there it is. Score 1914, 31 frames per second, 1080p. This is around this one. Let's run this in window mode actually. Oh, this just shows you frame rate, 57 frames. We run it normally. Now we're going to do the scene bench test. As you can see, I did it previously, and the CP multi-core test, it came fourth, just below the ripper, thread ripper, which is a 32 core 64 thread. It almost made the same one, and then the single core came first above the Apple M1 and the 8-core Ryzen 7. Let's just do it again. For some reason it can't pick up the GPU. Okay, let's run that test again. It's interesting, the second test scored lower than the first one, so there must have been something different running in the background causing this. It just shows you it's a true test. Okay, let's do the single one. And it again, the single core also came in less, but it's still on top above the Apple M1 and the other processors. That concludes the Cinebench test. Now for some game testing. This is Far Cry 5. It's running nicely at the average of looks like 45 to 47 frames per second. The GPU is handling it nicely for a AAA game like this. See the forests look very detailed. Nice. I haven't changed any of the settings, the game detected it itself. You have Need for Speed Unbound. Frame rate is around 30, which is really smooth. I set the graphics setting on Ultra, so let's see how that moves. It's very smooth. So it keeps at 30 frame rate. This is Spider-Man Remastered. It has a nice frame rate of 70. Let's see how it does when we move. I also switched on frame gen, so that's maybe why the frame rate is so high. Frame rate is still very high. Then it goes to 80. Probably because there's less turning in there. 64. Here is Forza with Ryzen 4. I'm gonna run the benchmark mode test. I set the settings on Ultra. So let's see what frame rate we get. The system really rocked this game. Got an average frames per second CPU signal of 182, CPU rendered 147, GPU 87 frames. This game loves the CPU. Okay, let's try play the game ourselves to see how it's moving. So let's start driving. This is the Focus RS. 2 years ago I had the Focus ST. This cars drive very nicely. But that's enough of cars. The frame rate, as you can see, is like in the 90s. It goes over 100. This game really loves this Ryzen 9 card.
Meters, turn left. Turn left. In 200 meters, turn right. Turn right. meters, turn left.
Last but not least, for the kids, Minecraft. This thing clocks on over 100 frames per second. It's set on the best settings, so it's quite fast. As this computer, you can buy this computer for your kids, and kids normally love playing Minecraft, so it runs it very smoothly without problems. That concludes the tests for the GMKtec EVO-X1. I would say it's really a nice build, very small PC which packs a big punch. If you look at a normal gaming machine with the same capacity, it's gonna cost you almost twice the price. And what's nice about this is also you can mount it at the back of your monitor, your screen, so you don't see it at all. It just sits there. I'll put links down below in the description of where you can buy it, and then you can have a look for yourself. Don't forget to like and click the subscribe button, and also put notifications on so you know when the next video comes up. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.